Greetings, you guys. This is going to be a deck review. I was about to say tarot review. No, this is an oracle deck. This is a oracle deck review of the Hip Hop Queens oracle deck, written by Kathy Iandoli. Hopefully, I'm saying your name right. Probably not. I am familiar with her. She did write a book for about one of my favorite beloved artists, Aaliyah. I think the book is called Baby Girl, and I think she's wrote for Source magazine and a few other magazines as well. The illustrator is Monica Ahanonu. If I'm not saying your name right, again, I apologize. I suck with names. I'm familiar with her art as well, Monica's art. I've checked her out on Instagram. So, yeah, I will post this on my Instagram and tag both the writer and illustrator of this deck so you guys know where to find it. I bought this deck straight off Amazon, and it was one of those anticipated decks I had in my wish list. Like, okay, I can't wait for this deck to come out. It's one of the ones. And you guys know I don't do tarot reviews often. It's been quite some time since I've done them. The last one that broke me in was the El Tarot Millennial Loteria edition. So this one is going to be an oracle deck, okay? So I can't wait to share this deck with you. So we're going to get into it and talk about the box. So let's get into the unboxing. Okay, so let's talk about this box here. I'm loving it, not only because it's very colorful. It's, you know, just got all these hip-hop queens and R&B queens and divas on the front and the sides, every corner, top to bottom. So we'll get into that in a second. But I just like to just show my respect to the boxing stock. Okay, so I've mentioned this in some of my tarot reviews. I do not like those paper boxes that tarot decks usually come in, or some oracle decks you might find. Those paper boxes, they rip very easily. They wear and tear very easily, whether you're storing them in a shelf or something. Just as much as you're pulling the cards out, it's gonna wear over time. So yeah, that is an issue for me. So I do like, you know, decks that come in boxes because they're easily stored and they just last longer, you know what I mean? So shout out to that part of it. So if you look at the box, it has you know, a few of the divas here. You have shout out to one of our beloved queens that passed on, Miss Lisa Left Eye Lopez. You have Cardi B, Miss Queen B, Little Kim, Mary J. Blige, Queen Latifah, Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, and the beautiful Miss Lauryn Hill. And it's very colorful. The deck, or the box itself, is very colorful and vibrant. So let's see what the back looks like. Okay, we got Erykah Badu, we have Salt and Pepper, we have Beyonce. So yeah, it's pretty colorful, right? I like the imagery so far, or it's letting us know at least like a little bit of who's in the deck. So when I first found this deck on Amazon, I came across it maybe I want to say last year. I seen this deck for pre-order, if I'm not mistaken. So when I came across it, there wasn't much imagery to let you know who was in the deck, so you kind of just had to go off of the first few that you saw. And I noticed over time that Amazon started to, or they did post a little bit more of what was in the deck and who was in the deck, right? So let's get into it. Let's open this box and see what we got going on. Okay. And I will do a mini read of this. So here is the guidebook. The guidebook is pretty a nice size. I don't want to look too much into it because I want to be surprised about who's in there. And I was already shocked to see who the first one is. So it was a given. I knew that she was going to have an Aaliyah card. I just knew it. But I didn't see it. So I'm just like, okay, well. So goes into the tarot and the layouts. Okay, like I said, I don't want to go too much into this. We already know Nicki is in here, right? So it has the meanings of the cards, the traditional meanings, I love this so far. Okay, I'm not gonna go too much into this. I'm gonna stop, okay? And we'll look at this later. But so far, I do like the guidebook. It's full color. It has a nice texture to it. It's not like paper, you know, like the tiny, let me show you an example. If I can find a tarot deck on me, which I probably don't have a tarot box on me. But typically, you guys know, when you have a tarot deck that comes in those paper boxes, I'm going to show you. Might be doing too much. Okay. Perfect example is something like this, that in those standard boxes, this over time, as you guys know, or it comes in like a folded book, the pages start to mess up. The pages start to come off. So out of the staples, but this, you won't have these type of problems, okay? It's almost like a mini book, okay? Guidebook. And we're gonna open the deck. And I love this when decks have these ribbons because it makes it so easy to pull the cards out, especially if you got nails, like, you know, nails, you know what I mean? Long nails. So I can't wait to look at this. I'm already loving it. You know, I'm already loving it. Shout out to my sis Aaliyah. Let's get into it. All right, so let's look at the back. The cardstock is interesting. It's kind of almost like a piece of paper, and you just, not piece of paper. It's I'm not a fan of this because if this gets wet, it's a done deal, and it will bend easily. This kind of reminds me, and a few people were complaining about what is her name? Rachel True. The actress Rachel True, you guys might know her from The Craft. She released a deck that was highly anticipated as well. The True, I think it's the True Tarot or something like that. And some people were complaining about the cardstock. It's a little similar. Like I said, I'm not too much of a I'm not that picky with decks, you know what I mean? Like, it just means you just got to take care of it more, you know what I mean? You got to be careful. You can't spill coffee on the table or some water on the table and some tea and just keep it moving. You got to be careful, okay? I almost shuffled it. It's a habit. I almost shuffled the cards in. I want to show you them in the exact order. So let's start with Miss Aaliyah. I think they're in alphabetical order, I'm assuming, because you got Angie Martinez here. Okay, the voice. Yeah, this is in alphabetical order. I'm gonna get into the art in a second. I just want to show you guys the cards first. This is Cardi B with the red bottoms, the bloody shoes, okay? The City Girls, the Brat Tats, okay? Dej Loaf, okay? Dreezy, Erykah Badu, I love it. Eve, okay? Foxy Brown, okay, I love it already. Gangsta Boo, Janelle Monáe. I'm not sure who this is. If I'm, you know, uncultured in that aspect, I guess. I don't know who that is. I don't know. Maybe y'all can help me. Janae Aiko, Cash Doll, Kaylani, Lachette, Lady Luck. Like, she getting into the old school. Lady of Rage, Lotto, Lauryn Hill. Let's leave the Left Eye Lopez, and they threw TLC a little bit in there. Not sure who this is. It's Lil Kim, Lizzo, okay. Mary J. Blige, MC Light, the Stallion in the back. That's kind of cute. Megan Thee Stallion, Mia X. Ooh, this probably is gonna be my favorite card. That's dope. I love Missy Elliott. Like, Missy Elliott and Timbaland is like, yeah, I love them. So you got Missy Elliott, Oni Love, Nicki Minaj, Nikki D. I love this card too. It's dope. Queen Latifah, Rod Digga, okay. Rhapsody, Remy Ma, Rihanna, Roxanne Shante, that's dope. I like that too. Salt and Pepper, Sweetie, Sister Soldier, okay. Sparky D, Spinderella, okay. You gotta throw her in there. You can't just leave her out. I know she was the DJ for Salt and Pepper, but you gotta throw her in there too. SZA, Tierra Whack, Trina. I don't know who us girls is. Must be an old school throwback thing. Young M.A. and Yo-Yo. Okay. Not bad. Okay. That is the unboxing. So I'm going to shuffle and then we'll talk about the art in a second. So I'm going to shuffle just to see how it feels. This is pretty much a standard Oracle card size, I feel. Let me use an example. Do I have Oracle cards? Yes, I do. All right, so this is the Psychic Tarot for the Heart cards. They are just about the same size, just about. This deck is it's the only difference is got the edges is a little bit wider, I think. Yeah, just a little. And the cut is different. If this deck was to be cut straight without the corners, it probably would be about the same size, just about. So it's almost about a standard Oracle card size and width. Shuffle wise, it's very easy to shuffle. If you want a bridge shuffle, it's, let me see, bridge shuffle. It's a pretty thick in hands, like thick in size deck. So let's see. You might have to break these cards in to get the bridge, but I can tell you immediately they're going to bend to however you use them. So if you have that little overlay, because you do that little bridge shuffle, that's what you're going to get with these cards. Shuffle wise, I shuffle like this usually, or like this, or like this. So it's not an issue for me. If you have long or small hands or big hands, so small hands, I have pretty average size hand for a woman, so shuffling is not that difficult. If you have small hands, I mean, it's no different than you using a standard Oracle card size deck. You have big hands, same difference, no difference, you know, same thing. All right, yeah, it's easy to shuffle these actually, or at least the way that I prefer to shuffle my cards. So I'm going to just talk about the art. Some of these people, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know every person in the deck. I feel like some of these are old school artists, you know, I'm not familiar with everyone. I will say this, that some of the people I do recognize, not all of them look like themselves. So I just gotta be real with that. Rod Digger does not look like Rod Digger. Lizzo, that doesn't look like Lizzo. I can't remember what Mia X really looks like. Mary J. Blige, you could tell this Megan Thee Stallion, Mary J. Blige. City Girls, they don't look anything like City Girls. This looks just like her. She looks like herself. I don't know who this is. I don't know who that is. Eve, you can tell that's Eve, yeah. Sister Soldier, you can tell that's her. Lisa Left Eye, kind of. I get, like, you know, the artistic style doesn't always have to look exactly, you know, to the T. It has its own type of feel to it, its own type of vibe to it. Cardi B, right off the bat, you know who that is, right? Same thing, Erykah Badu, you can tell right off the bat. I will say one of them that I noticed is not. I seen this on the Instagram page of the illustrator, and this was something that was just pointed out, like that doesn't really look like Peppa. Not really. Lauryn Hill is perfect. Looks just like her. It's beautiful. Deja Loaf, perfect. Looks just like her. Janelle Monáe looks just like herself. Foxy Brown pretty much looks like herself. Jhené Aiko looks pretty much exactly like herself. This doesn't look like Tierra Whack to me. Angie Martinez did not really look like Angie Martinez. Aaliyah is perfect. Queen Latifah's was perfect. Rihanna's pretty much, yeah. Kehlani's, yes. It was Beyonce, I think, that I noticed. Yeah, she just, Little Kim, you could tell right off the bat. Trina, you could tell right off the bat. MC Lyte, Da Brat, Remy Ma. Nicki Minaj's was a little, almost, you could almost be like, no, but because you know the hair, the stance, okay, it's like, all right, we know. See, this doesn't really look like Beyonce to me. It doesn't. I'm gonna just be real. This looks like SZA, Lotto to an extent. Yeah, this almost looks like another picture of Rihanna, Sweetie. But this one is dope. This is my favorite card out of the deck, so that's bonus points. But other than that, I'm gonna say that might be a little bit of, for some of you it might be an issue, or you just don't care, you know what the deck means. So aside from that part of it, aside from you know, aside from that, let's get into the wordings of the card. So I'm gonna do a reading. I'm gonna pull a card. It's a daily message, okay? All right, daily message. Let's pull one card from this deck, and I will use the guidebook after I use my intuition, just to see, you know, how the guidebooks is helpful, how it coincides with the reading. Holy Spirit, what is the guidance that you have for those watching? What is the message, Holy Spirit? Thank you. Okay, versatility. Okay, I like the tattoos. So versatility in this instance, I'm getting, for majority of you, I feel like you're being more encouraged to express yourself. There's certain layers that you feel comfortable with expressing yourself, your versatility, and there's other areas or certain things that you're not all the way comfortable with sharing. So I definitely feel like for some of you, you might be tattoo artists. That was the first thing I noticed, was her tattoos. Or some of you guys might be ashamed of your tattoos, but everything about you, not just your physical, it makes you versatile. It makes you different. It makes you unique. We all have different things that we could share. Even the things that we feel like is a quirk or a flaw could very well be the thing that other people gravitate to and resonate with. Let's see what the top and bottom card is, and then I'll look at the guidebook. Top card is resistance. Yeah. So there's some holding back when it comes to your difference, your versatility. You have rebellion. Yeah, be your authentic self wholeheartedly, regardless. So, you know, there's even the most confident people, there's still some things that we haven't fully embraced about ourselves. And I feel that the divine is saying for us to embrace all aspects and take your time with this, of course. So let's look at the guidebook. It was very easy to, as you guys saw the deck, okay, as I opened it up, the only thing that was different was I cut the little plastic circle to open the deck. Everything came as is. You didn't have to deal with any heavy plastic unwrapping and all of that. It came exactly as is. Okay. So we have versatility. Let's see. So the guidebook goes by the alphabetical order of the artist's name, just so you know. So I'm trying to, J's, I passed it. Okay. Okay. Diversity, technique, and skill. Okay. So it lets you know the backstory of who this artist is. Okay. So it says, much like Jean, I don't know how to say her last name, excuse me, switches up her style, her card is asking the same of you. If you are in a creative rut, there are always ways to spark a new zest for life and a renewed interest in self-discovery. Take up a new hobby or start journaling. There are many ways to diversity. Your life portfolio, and now is a time to channel your inner genius. It's there, but maybe dormant. Ring the alarm and wake it up already. All right, and we had Debrat and Sparky D. Let's look at Debrat because that's within the same, I'm not too far away from the J's. Okay, rebellion, activity, animation, decent, and rule breaking. Okay, it says toss your rule book, or at least hide it for now. You've been living with safety on for too long. And a pool of Debrat's cards suggests it's time to bend those rules a bit and take more risk. We can't get consumed by the what ifs when we're about to do something that might seem drastic in the eyes of the people around us. Oh well, let them write your behavior off as another tantrum. but this time taking on your own lead will pay off. Be a brat proudly. Okay, let's see. Sparky D. We gotta go to the S's. All right, hers is resistance, refusal, pushback, regret, blockage, and opening. Okay, it says you have a spark in you, but you may be feeling like the power is a little lost. There is an invincible barrier between where you are now and where you long to be. Like Sparky, you have to choose you. And while that's a tough decision for anyone with a beating heart, that doesn't mean you should accept less than what you deserve. Make a list of things that you feel may be stopping you from your end goal. Resist the urge to talk down to yourself, but rather approach these roadblocks with grace and understanding. You'll have a breakthrough soon. All right. So most of the top of the paragraphs above it is going into who the artist is, and then at the bottom is the meaning of the deck, and then they have some more keywords to the meanings of the cards that you pulled. So the guidebook is pretty decent. Some of you guys might be used to, it's a few series that this company has. It's they have the fashion oracles, the music oracles, they have the art oracles, the success oracles, you know, and they usually depicts a lot of famous people, a lot of people of prominence or whatever in the decks. So this is almost similar but not quite, because it gives you a more open range to tap into the energy, or to, you know, tap into the word, the keyword, and put it together intuitively to read. Rather than those oracles that has like quotes and certain things in it, it does help. Any oracle, I'll say this, any oracle it's more free to utilize your intuition. Tarot is very structured. I love both. I'm not against either or. So I'm going to get into this. As far as friendly for beginners, I would say, is it beginner friendly? As an intuitive, not so much a tarot student, but as an intuitive, I would say we're all different in our gifts and where we you know, how we strengthen them. Some of us like to just dive deep and just go for it, and others like to kind of ride with their training wheels on. You know, Dorian Virtue decks, I feel like, are for training wheels. You know what I mean? This one, you are going to have to kind of tap in a little bit more, and if you know something about the artist, maybe that will help you to pick up what's being said, or the words, you know, the colors, something, right? I wouldn't say this is beginner friendly. No, it might be like intermediate friendly, if that's the right word. Yeah, so unless you just want to completely dive in, and you know, some beginners, which is smart, they use guidebooks, you know. As a beginner reader in the past, I didn't really lean on the guidebooks that much. I really just went in, just figured out how to use it. But sometimes I did want to see, okay, well, this is what I got, but let me see what the book says also. That helps too. It helps you to understand the cards better and what the writer was trying to say, why they put certain words and pictures and colors and numbers and stuff like that. So that does help. But I wouldn't say this is necessarily a beginner-friendly deck. It is a fun deck. Definitely for those of you that are pop culture, you know, heads, this is a good deck for you. Definitely cool to have in your collection and read, you know, for people. I love the idea of it all. So yeah. Overall review and rating of this deck for me, out of a 5 being the highest, 5-star being the highest rating or review, I want to give it a 4.5 stars, because I feel like the idea was really dope, and she put a lot of artists in there, you know, artists of the now and artists of the past, some that I don't even know about, you know. I love the idea of the pictures that she chose for most of the cards. Some of them are inspired by actual pictures, and some I feel are just kind of just out of the illustrator's imagination, which is beautiful as well. And I will still say this, my favorite card in the deck is the Missy Elliott card. I just love the idea that card is actually one of her looks from I Can't Stand the Rain video where she had the big, it looked like a big what do you call it? It looks like a big trash bag, but what's the brand's name? I can't even think of the brand's name of trash bags, but it was like she just made it dope, and it just everything, the black lipstick, it just, that's my favorite card in the deck. And next to Aaliyah's, of course. I appreciated that with the whole Tommy figure look, you know, that was a thing back then. So that was, you know, I like to see that. I think Lauryn Hill's was another favorite of mine. Queen Latifah's was another favorite card of mine, and I think Little Kim would be last. So I appreciate the idea. The card stock was not my favorite, but I'm not too picky on that because I'm used to working with any type of card stock. It is what it is. You just got to take care of them differently than the others, and vice versa. I do love the box. It's good for storing. This deck, if you are my handbag gang sis or backpack gang, this would be an easy card deck to store. If you have like a drawstring bag, you can carry it in and put it in like a little pouch bag that you could put your cards in and take it with you. You could do that. The box itself I wouldn't carry with me around and stuff like that, unless, you know, you're traveling, you take it in your luggage. But if you want to take your cards wherever you go, in your backpack or your handbag or whatever, your purse, you could do that with a drawstring bag, no problem. The deck is kind of thick, but it's not too thick that you can't take it with you, you know, travel with you. Another thing, the arts, some of the artists, I know who they are because obviously you can look at the card and look at the clothes, the hairstyle, and be like, okay, that's supposed to be this person. But some of them did not quite look like the people per se. So it was kind of hard to make that distinction. If you didn't know, you would have to kind of go off of, like Nicki Minaj, you would have to go off of the hairstyle, the stance, the clothes to get that, okay, that's supposed to be Nicki Minaj. Yeah, other than that, I love the concept, and I love the colorfulness of it all. I just really appreciate this deck, and I feel that this would be one of those decks that you resonate with for like confidence building, or to help other people, you know, to inspire, to encourage them with their confidence, whether they're male or female. But especially for, you know, feminine energy, this would be a deck to help you empower you. So these are more decks that you would use to tap into yourself rather than, you know, ask about love and relationships. I'm sure you can do that. You can do anything. As an intuitive, you can do anything. I would just more so say that this deck is more for, like, I would personally would use these more for inspirational guidances and messages and encouragement for self and for others that you're reading for, probably to help you identify your character, you know, what type of personality you are, maybe how to tap into more aspects of yourself, you know, things like that. I would use that deck for this. So yeah, overall, I would give it a 4.5 stars out of 5. So I really enjoyed sharing this deck with you guys. I can't wait to actually use them in my reads. And yeah, much love as always. I appreciate you guys. Be blessed, be safe, take care. Peace.